Hello, good day to all my subscribers and Mr. Dudes, are we? Okay, right now I am so excited because my guest is a very beautiful, articulate, and smart woman who is actually representing Sumatra Barat in the Puteri Indonesia 2022. Let's get to know more about this amazing woman. So I'll be asking her random questions about herself, about her family, her studies, and her journey to Putri, Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Viera Lovienta.
Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be here right now. Finally meeting you virtually again, Mr. Dudes.
Yes, and you have so many fans actually. That's why
Wow.
they are very excited to know about you. So let's
Yeah,
start. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. So, Viera, uh, could you please tell something about your family? I mean, how many siblings do you have, or what do your parents do for a living? Things like that. Mhm.
Yes. Okay. So my family, we are just four people, both of my parents. I have one sister, an older sister. She is 5 years older than me and myself. And both of my parents and my sister, all of them are in the same company. They are doing events management, event organizers, and they've been doing it for 20 plus years
Wow.
for all my life. Yeah, they have that company. And so I grew up during events, I saw them doing conferences and arranging stuff. And so concerts, events, stuff like that have been something that I grew up in, so
Mm.
entertainment industry. And now they are more focused towards MICE, which is conferences, exhibitions, stuff like that.
Mm.
And all of them, they live in Bali,
Okay.
though my dad is from West Sumatra and my mom is originally from East Java, but she was born and grew up here in Bali.
Mm.
And so I think my background is very diverse in terms of cultural and also with languages, because we don't only speak Indonesian but also speak West Sumatra language, Padang, and also Javanese, and also Balinese. So all of them just mixed in within our family.
Mm.
That's a little bit about my family.
Wow. So, Bali is part of Sumatra Barat, is it?
No, Bali is another province.
Mm.
So Bali is a province here in Indonesia, and it is actually far from West Sumatra.
Okay.
And yeah, so my dad, when he was young, he moved here to Bali.
Mm.
He's uh, part of his job back then, he worked at a bank, and then he was assigned to be here at a branch in Bali. And then he met my mom, and they both of them decided to stay here in Bali.
Wow. Okay. So,
Yeah.
it's very noticeable how articulate you are, especially in speaking using the English language.
Thank
Where
you.
do you attribute your fluency of the English language? Because it's very seldom that you encounter, no, a queen like you who speak well and confidently using English.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think with my language, English, because I grew up here in Bali and I went to international school here. And
Mm.
then after that, I spent the last 5 years of my life pursuing education overseas as well in Malaysia and in the UK.
Mm.
And so I actually finished up my high school with the Ontario Secondary School Diploma, which is
Okay.
like a level version of Canada, like Canadian A level. And I think that's where I got my English fluency from.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Wow, amazing, no?
Thank you.
So, what's the degree that you have obtained in
Yeah.
university?
So I did my bachelor's degree in communication, specializing in public relations and project management. And then that's an honors degree. After that, I continued with my master degree, which is in political communication.
Mhm.
And currently with my PhD, it is specifically in journalism, media, and culture, but I actually took the research on political communication. So it's a continuation of my master's research that I am doing right now in PhD.
Wow, amazing. And so
Thank you.
we are talking to the future doctor, right? Because
Thank
you're
you.
taking up your PhD now at a very young age. Uh,
Yeah.
so it's very clear that you are very studious, you value education so much, you're so smart and you're so articulate. And
Thank
it's
you.
interesting to know what made you decide to enter the pageant world? I mean, is there someone who motivated you or who prodded you to join, or it's something in it from you ever since you were a kid? So how? Because it's
Yeah.
unthinkable no, that no, this lady is taking up a PhD. So the notion of the people is that she would be focusing so much on that. And here you are, a beauty
Yeah.
queen representing Sumatra Barat. Mm.
Yeah, so actually, it is a dream of mine since I was a little kid. And I think that dream raised up when I saw my mom. She was a model here in Bali when she was younger. And so I always looked up to her. I saw her in magazines, with these beautiful dresses. She was being dressed up, being made up. And then I say to her, one day I want to be like you. I want to be someone who can used her beauty not only for the camera, not only for the outer looks, but also to actually give back to the community because my mom used her title to community service as well. So she was doing something back for the community. And I said, one day I want to be like her. And here I am. It has been one of my dreams. And so I pursued that dream because I always say to not only myself but also people around me that if you have a goal, you have to do everything that you can to reach that goal so that you don't have any regrets towards your life.
Okay, Viera, what's this? It's very difficult to to enter Putri Indonesia. I mean, a lot of women are really dreaming of making it in Putri, but then unfortunately not everybody's given the opportunity. So what were some
Yeah.
of the struggles that you encountered prior to you being selected as Putri Indonesia Sumatra Barat?
I think one of the obstacles that I faced was because I was not a model.
Hmm.
I was not someone who I was in an academic world.
Hmm.
That's all I know, what I've been doing, and so I was not very familiar with the whole modeling thing because I've never pursued them. And so that's one of the obstacles is to actually learn how to be to do catwalks, to
Hmm.
represent myself not only as Viera but as a queen,
Hmm.
as more of a pageant material, and building myself the image as well towards that. So that's one of the obstacles. But I think I went into beauty camp and they have helped me as well into the direction that I need to do, the path, the right way. And so I think that was an obstacle, but right now I have made a solution out of that as well.
So, what do you think are the factors that made the Putri Indonesia organization crown you as the Putri Indonesia Sumatra Barat? Because it's so tough, it's so difficult. So, what do you think are your assets, no, strong points that you think, no, that you believe were noticed by the screening panel or the judges?
I think Puteri Indonesia has the beauty, brain, behavior, brave. So all of these aspects were the one that I trained before I went in for the audition.
Mm.
And so I saw all of these aspects and I made it into how I can present this in front of the judges. And one of the things that I did was to really boost up my confidence, which I think truly shows who I am, who I was in front of that panel. And I always remember to think about, being confident, but at the same time, you also know how to sort of bring yourself in. So how know the exact time and way when to show off, when you have to be polite and know the right time to do so. And I think that truly paved the way for me to be Puteri Indonesia West Sumatra. But all the girls that I saw on that day, they're all beautiful. They all have their own uniqueness, and I don't doubt it as well. But I think that's one of my stronger point. It was that I was quite unbuttered. I was just there to focus on myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing to know, no? Very inspiring. Okay, so how did you choose your advocacy? What made you decide to? What is your advocacy, and what made you decide to, pursue such advocacy?
Yeah, so my advocacy is called I'm With Her Indonesia. It is all about women supporting other women. We are all about women empowerment and pushing gender equality through gender equity. And I built that platform because where I came from, West Sumatra, we have this thing that is called Bundo Kanduang. It is built within our culture that women have the right place in society. So women are actually community leaders back home where I came from. And so I was inspired by them to bring this to not only in West Sumatra, but also all over Indonesia, even the universe as well, right? So I want to show that, hey, this is a culture where women are so empowered and they actually have a high place in society. So this is a right example. This has been there for hundreds of years, right? And also, I was inspired by my grandmother as well. She is the embodiment of an empowered woman because what at one time in her life she was doing 3 jobs just to feed her kids, and she made it. And so I want these kind of stories to be told, and that's why my focus is all about inspiring each other. It's all about educating one another.
Yeah, and the good thing about your advocacy, Viera, is that this is really, you are right, this is very applicable to women all over the world, not only
Yes.
in Indonesia or in Asia, no? And every parts of the world, we have women who need to be empowered, right?
Exactly. Yes.
That's great. And how do you promote your advocacy here in Indonesia? Well, you have this. What's the name again of that organization that you're
It's
supporting?
called I'm With Her.
I'm With Her. So this I'm
Yes.
With Her. Did you put this up, or it's an existing organization where you support and where you assist?
So this was founded by me. So
Oh.
this is a quite new organization, but it has been going on for about a year or so. But I have been involved in women organization before this as well. But the reason why I founded this platform was because I want this to be specifically about inspiring women. So I want a soft approach because with the existing organizations, it's a combination of soft and hard approach, but I want to specifically be soft approach so that it can be not only for women here in Asia, like you said, but also for women all over the world. I want it to be as flexible and as open as possible, this platform. And so, yeah, I think I'm With Her is so this has been going on quite a while, and we are actively involved in our commitment to inspire women. So I've been interviewing women in leadership positions. I also have spoken about this advocacy through local media so that women here know about it. And then also I had a local TV interview this week, and I talked about I'm With Her. And I think since then, a lot of people have followed the social media and also joining our team to be volunteers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that you're crowned as the Puteri Indonesia Sumatera Barat, no, what were some of the things that have changed with regards to your daily activities, no?
Yeah, it has Oh yeah. A lot has changed because sorry, because right now my activities are not just me being
Mm,
student and also media consultant. I actually honestly have let go of my job of media consultant because I cannot juggle between, three of the things. So I have let go of that job so that I can be more focused in Puteri Indonesia Sumatera Barat, and also what the daily activities also include
mm,
me doing my advocacy preparations, and also the organization right now have been doing online classes and stuff, and so I want to be as involved in the process as possible because this is once in a lifetime opportunities and I'm not going to miss that.
okay. So where were you when the news was relayed to you that you were the chosen Putri Indonesia Sumatera Barat? I mean, I'm interested to know where were you, who were you with, and what was the reaction? You know, because it was not immediately relayed to you, right? You waited for a couple of days, right? And then while
Yes, yes,
waiting,
yes, yes.
I could feel the anxiety and all like that. But then when finally it was confirmed that it's you, what's the scenario?
Yeah. So I was actually alone in my place, in my apartment in Jakarta, and I saw that announcement. I think this announcement was at the official Puteri Indonesia's page on Instagram, and I scrolled that every second. I was waiting so anxiously, and then I saw my name, and I was just, I praised it away. I was like thanking God. I was just bawling my eyes, and I called my family, and they were so excited as well. They congratulate me, and they say it like, let's do this together. We're supporting you and stuff
Very
like that.
supportive
And
family, yeah.
yeah, my family was, yeah, they're so good at this. They're so supportive and all that. So yeah, it was all just pure excitement.
So since your mom is not someone who's a neophyte in this kind of industry, right? She used to model. Somehow I mean it has something to do with pageantry and all like that. What are some of the advice or pieces of advice that she's giving you, and how much what kind of support she's providing to you?
Yeah, so she always told me to, just focus on yourself. I think once we're in competitions, it is so easy to look at other contestants and compare yourself because you obviously this competition and you want to be the best. But she said that's not the point. The point is for you to be the best at your own version.
Wow.
And she always told me that. And I think that really helped me to boost my confidence to just focus on what I'm doing and to just be as honest with myself. She always told me to speak with yourself. I know that sounds a bit crazy, but she always told me to just look in the mirror and all all these words that will boost your confidence. She would say to me, say it to yourself every day because there are a lot of people who believe in you, but sometimes it is yourself who do not believe in yourself.
And
So
there
she's
sometimes there comes a point wherein you are doubting yourself if you're
yeah,
doing the right
exactly.
thing. You're doubting whether you're really beautiful or what, because sometimes it does happen because we're human beings, no. But then your
Yeah,
mom is has a lot of wisdom, no, telling you all these
yeah,
things. That's the right thing to do. You really just have to
yeah,
focus on yourself, no, uh,
true.
and be the best version of yourself, to compete with yourself and not to anyone
Exactly.
else. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So since you are a very articulate woman, a young woman, definitely the question and answer component of any beauty pageant is something that is not uh, difficult for you. Okay. So because you're so articulate, you're
It
in.
is still challenging to be honest, because uh, sorry to cut you off, but I was just gonna say that my major is in communication and is in political communication, but what I have been doing is more towards writings
Mm,
and also speeches for politicians, for PR purposes. And it's very different because I was branding other people.
Yeah.
While right now I am branding myself, which I think is even harder.
Yeah. And so having said that, no, I am very sure the Q&A is something that you could always, nail,
Yes.
no? But among the other preparations that you mentioned, like, you didn't have any experience prior to this with the catwalk and all, what is the most difficult part of your preparation? Mm.
Difficult part of my preparation. I think a lot. Well, I have, I think there are some obstacles, but I really have great people behind me who just help me throughout everything, and I'm so thankful for them, for my team. They're the best, to be honest. And I think for me the most challenging part was to be comfortable in to be comfortable in front of people, in front of like a lot of people. What I mean is I am comfortable in public spaces, but we're talking about hours and hours on end. We're talking about not just an hour or 2 hours, but it's like a constant from morning to night, meeting a lot of people from different backgrounds. You still have to be on point every single second. And so I think that's a little bit challenging for me because we are all humans, and sometimes you don't want to say the wrong words, and so you have to be really careful, and at the end of the day you will feel like you just you need some time to heal and stuff like that. But I have learned actually the way to do it is to just enjoy the moment.
The journey. Yeah, just enjoy
Yeah.
the journey because
Yeah.
not everybody is given that great opportunity to become a Puteri Indonesia, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's
And
such a
are
blessing.
you the hands-on type of person wherein do you have like a say to the gown that you will be wearing, to the wardrobes that you're preparing, to the video, to the national costume, to your talent? Do you have, I mean, are you the one really thinking of that and then you
Yeah.
cascade that to your team?
So I am as involved as I can. What I mean by this is that there are experts in
Mm.
this type of thing. So, for example, for the gown, I would say what I think is best for my personality, what I like, and I try to show as much of my character. But I would also discuss it with the expert, with the designer, with the people who have been in industry for years and years, and I would listen to them as well. What would be the right way? So I think for me, it's not about a lot of making decisions, but a lot of discussions that we make. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, that's what we call teamwork. Okay.
Yeah.
Because, a queen is, made by not only by herself, no, but a lot of people that surround her, no.
Exactly. Yes.
And in terms of talent, you may or may not share it because some other candidates would like to keep their talent until the talent day because uh this is mandatory in Putri Indonesia, no, that everybody
Yeah.
should present a 2-minute talent. So are you ready with that? Have you prepared for it, and or are you okay to share it, or you just want to keep it as a surprise?
I think, well, I think I would want to make it as a surprise, but I have been practicing for it as well. And I think what a little bit of hint that I will be given is that this talent has been a talent of mine since I was a little kid. So
Wow.
I'm so comfortable of doing this, and it has been sort of a second nature for me as well doing this, and so that's why I chose this as my talent.
Okay. So are you the, of course, no, during the competition, during the grand finals, it's up to the
Yeah.
judges who they will crown as Putri Indonesia Universe, International, Supranational. But personally, do you have any specific title that you would want to achieve?
I think my goal is, of course, to win this competition, to make my province proud, and to, set the goal as high as possible. I think we have to to be really positive in this competition. And so my target will be to be Miss Universe Indonesia
Yeah.
and to bring the first crown of Miss Universe back home.
Yeah. And it's not a remote possibility. There's a chance, right? There's a big chance that you
Yes.
could clinch it with your
Really.
personality, with your wit, with your charm. I think it's just a matter of the judges decision. No? But in terms of are you qualified to represent Indonesia in the Miss Universe? Yes, you are. That's the answer. Okay. Now, uh,
Thank you.
you have following now, and people actually there were some people who were personally messaging me that they're so happy because you're representing their town, their province, Sumatra Barat. Personal messages in the Instagram that they're supporting you, even if you don't know it, they're really rooting for you. uh,
Oh, thank you.
yeah, do you encounter what do you call this, a netizen or who is some sort of bashing or some sort of commenting negative about you, and how do you handle that?
Yes, I have encountered some, negative words, negative criticism. I would say it's even borderline bullying,
Mm.
cyberbullying, and I just think that right now it's one of the consequences of being in the public eye, and I truly understand that. And I have never replied to any of the bashers, I would say, or any negative comments, because I believe that it is their rights to show their perspectives. At
Mm.
the same time, if I would have to say something, I would just say, you only live your life once. And so if you can be kind, be
Mm.
compassionate, and to think twice about what you're saying, why not? Because you never know the mental health condition of the people that you are bashing, that
Yeah.
you're talking about this. If you're talking about this to me, I'm fine and I can accept that. But what if you're talking about this to some other people who
You
perhaps
cannot
are
handle.
fragile in their mental health well-being? And so this is the things that we have to think about again. So yeah, that's my
That's
view.
good, Viera, no? Because that's a mark of a beauty queen. While you don't engage yourself or involve yourself to responding or replying, but then you are not mom about the possibility of you calling them out in general terms. No, as a queen,
Yes,
you have to really call them out so that you were right. No, you are strong, but not everybody could take it the way you take it, right?
yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
That's very good. Wow, wow. This is a problem, no, not only in Indonesia but all over the world. No, this bashers, this. How do you
Yes.
think? How do you think we could eliminate this?
Yeah, I think what we can do. So actually, when I did my master's degree, I was studying about misinformation and
Mm.
disinformation and how this could polarize us as society.
Mm.
And so I think it all started with, you know, our habits of seeing informations that are just so varied. So there are
Mm.
so many informations out there, and the way that we process it is different. And some people process it in the way that they put their emotions, their anger towards it, and they actually put those angers to other people so
Mm.
that they feel better about themselves. And so I think what we can do as a society is to, first of all, make tighter regulations on social media so that these kind of things would not repeat itself. So I'm not talking about restricting people's opinion. I'm talking about flagging this kind of opinion so that people who see this comment know exactly that this is a harassment. We have to call them out because
Yeah.
it is not okay, right? And as collectively, we have to also go back to ourselves and to be the agents of change, to spread the message of kindness, of compassion, and to say to not only yourself but also people around you to, hey,
Mm.
please think twice about this. Because right now, if we scroll through our Instagram, we would see if our friends actually commented on others' posts, right? And so if you see some of them are doing negative things, you can remind them gently, as a friend, that hey, let's do better as a
Yeah.
society.
Wow,
Yes.
amazing, amazing, Viera. Wow. Okay, so right now you are representing Sumatra Barat. What is one thing that you can promote about your province?
Oh, there's so many things that I can promote, to be honest. And well, if there's one thing, I would perhaps say that, next year, we have the pleasure of being chosen as the program of Visit Beautiful West Sumatra 2023. It
Okay.
is from the Ministry of Tourism. And so I think I would promote our nature, our beautiful nature. We have this amazing little island that is called Mentawai. And if you love diving, snorkeling, all of those things, this island is just amazing. And do go to West Sumatra because we're going to have a whole program next year. Visit beautiful West Sumatra. Yeah.
Wow, I haven't been to West Sumatra and I hope to visit the province one of these days.
Yeah, you should.
Okay, so how much support are you getting from your province? From the government from your local government, from the people in Sumatra Barat?
Yeah. Yeah. I have been overwhelmed by all the positive responses from people back home, and I have visited the vice governor and also the madam government, so the wife of the governor as well. We have conversations, and they have blessed me to bring the success of West Sumatra. I also have been to the local university where I actually taught them about communication because of the degree that I have. And also I went to the local TV where I talk about my advocacy, what I'm going to bring to the national stage and all that. I've been in the local medias a lot, and I have been receiving good feedback from the people as well. So it has been a really just joyful journey for me, to be honest.
Okay.
Yes.
So during the finals, no, of Puteri Indonesia, do you have do they provide someone or makeup artist, or you're the ones who's supposed to put on your makeup and lipstick and style yourself?
I'm not very sure about that, but I have been practicing as well about doing makeup, doing my own hair. And so if I, could have the chance to do it myself, I think I would want to do it
Yeah.
myself. I'm still
Because
in the learning process
yeah,
because
because I think in the international competitions now, they are actually requiring their own candidates to do their own makeup. So at least you should be ready with that.
yes, of course. I'm practicing on that as well.
Okay. So now, Viera, let's go on a bigger scale. No, what do you
Yeah.
think is aside from women empowerment, what do you think is another problem of Indonesia that we need to attend to?
Well, from my point of view, because I just did my research about misinformation and disinformation, how dangerous it is for us Indonesians. I think that is one of the threatening things for us, which is the widespread of misinformation and disinformation. And that's because this country is built on the notion of diversity, of respecting one another. And so if there is this third party, which is hoaxes that come in and divide us, this could be actually threatening for the democracy here, because we are relying solely on people's perspective for us to be respectful, to be tolerant. And so if misinformation and disinformation are there to disturb this is very dangerous. And what we need to do as Indonesians is to recognize that this is a huge problem, misinformation and disinformation. Think about all the problems, all the issues that are occurring in Indonesia right now and in the world, maybe. And think about the oppositions, the positive, the negatives of aspects that people are arguing about surrounding these issues, and think about the amount of misinformation and disinformation that are involved in these arguments. And so not only that it can polarize us further, it can actually destroy our core foundation as a nation. And we have to do something about it. We can do a lot of things. First, policies, stronger policies among the internet, and then we can have the educational aspect, where we can educate people around this to have more digital literacy. And third is for us to actually go back to ourselves and ask ourselves to check this information, to verify what we've got on the internet. And yeah, that's what I think is the biggest issue and how we can solve them.
Well, you know what, Viera, you are very articulate and very substantial when you give your answers. No, so it's really very impressive. Now, I want to know your thoughts about this, no, because Microsoft research says that Indonesian netizens are actually the most disrespectful in Southeast Asia. What's your take on that?
My take on this is, well, it's actually heartbreaking for me to hear that, because I know for a fact that we Indonesians, we are very friendly. When you meet us, when you come here, you will be welcomed with warm smiles, and that's the fact. That's true. But that's why it saddens me that we are, on the internet, it's not the same as we are in real life. Because I think what we have to do is to actually increase the digital literacy here in Indonesia, so that people understand that this tool is also the same as you were to have conversations in real life. How this can harm other people, your negative comments, all these things, to think twice about it. Because I believe that human resources here in Indonesia, a lot of people are smart and intelligent people, but they're just, because it's just being something that being okayed about, to speak out your opinions in a negative way is something that sometimes been seen as not as serious. And so people are keep doing it. So if we right now start to calling people out, that if they're saying something that's bad, because once somebody, just one person say something bad, it can represent the whole nation about it. So I just think that we have to approach this as we have to real conversations in life. Because I believe, Sir Dudes, if you have any conversations with real Indonesians, we are truly just, we love our smiles. We love to just, welcome to
I've been
people,
immersed
right?
to Indonesian people and culture for the past 11 years, and I have established good friendships, with Indonesians, a lot of Indonesians, and well, it's just something that that is something that comes from an outsider, like Microsoft, because probably of a situation that transpired in the past. But of course, we cannot define a certain country by just by just a specific incident, right? So now let's talk about the pandemic. We're still in pandemic up to now, no, but then how does this pandemic change your life, and how does it affect your life?
Oh, wow. I think it has, I would say it affected my life, but it didn't really change yet, because I think during this pandemic, I still went ahead and I went to the UK for my master's degree still. And it's just changed in the way that we connect with other people. Because when we now see a new person, we don't straight away hug them, or that social thing that we do, like the kiss on the cheeks and stuff like that. It's now being changed in that way. So our habits are being changed. The way we use masks, we have to wash our hands and stuff like that. But I think the fundamental way of us living, well, for me, maybe personally, it has not been changed. I'm still living the life that that I still
Okay.
wanted. And although there are some restrictions, for example, when I was in the UK, there were lockdowns and stuff. But right now in Indonesia, I think the government has a plan of, from pandemic to endemic. So it's like a more national thing instead of the whole global thing. And we have seen the way the economic has recovered greatly, and people right now are not afraid anymore to go out. Even though we have to wear masks, we're still socializing. And I think though I have learned a lesson here where it is so important for us to check on the people that we love, because it's so easy for us to be vulnerable in these moments, during lockdowns, not only our physical health, also our mental health. So I learned that lesson.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As a Putri Indonesia, no, do you do you see yourself involving in your provinces or in your country's political activities?
I think as a Putri, we are advocating for issues that we are truly engaged in and truly know exactly what it is and what we can do about. And I think, this task required us to be neutral, to have opinions, a strong stance, but still aiming for the people. So we are with the people. We are the face of women here in Indonesia. And for me in West Sumatra, I'm the face of the women from there. And so for me, I would be on the side of the women here. And I think for that reason, there our thoughts, our perspective should not be mixed up with any political views.
Okay. Obviously, your facility to English language is impeccable. It's very good. But then we cannot say the same thing to a great percentage of people in Indonesia, right? Do you think English language should be intensified in schools in Indonesia, and do you think also that it should is English mandatory for all beauty queen to have such skills for them to be crowned as queens?
Yeah. Well, I think it really, well, first of all, I'm going to answer about the kids in school. I think it truly depends on, for example, the major or what is your career goals. So in university, for example, if you are doing communication, yes, absolutely, you need to learn English, because your job will require you to target the audience not only locally but also internationally, right? But if you are doing any other major, for example, you are doing a Bahasa major in literature, then you don't have to learn English, because that would be another skill, right? It would be. So I think in here, the education in educational part, it has to be engage and add on or reduce in a way that suits to the students' goals. So because right now we've already had mandatory English language as a lesson, and
Okay.
I think that is good enough. But if the students wanted to intensify and want to use English as their additional skills to have good jobs, then go for it. Then the government has to facilitate schools to have to increase the level if the students want to, I guess. And so for beauty queens, the second thing, I think if we go back to communication theory, we know that in order for us to deliver the right effective messaging, we need to have the right tools and the right way. So we need to speak the same language with our audience. And so in this case, because we are in an international stage, we have to deliver the message that the audience would understand straight away. And so speaking English language would help, but it is not mandatory, because we know as well that on that stage there will be translators who could translate whatever you're saying. And so I think we need to take this issue with a bit of a grain of salt. So if you think you are able to speak and you want your message to be right on point
Mm.
at that exact time without translation, then it will be a plus point, right? But if you feel like you're so comfortable with your own language and there's a translator for it, then you could go ahead and your messaging would still be effective as well. So that's my view.
Wow, I'm so, you know what? I'm so mesmerized when you are explaining.
Thank you.
You're very good, Viera. I mean, you're not only articulate, but the substance, the content of your answer is so amazing, no?
Thank you so much, dear dude.
And
I think if you would ask me about anything relatable to communication theory, I would be able to explain it more.
yeah, yeah, and it's
Explain
very
it more.
seldom, and it's very seldom. Well, at least on my experience, with due respect to all the past Putri Indonesias, with due respect to them, it's very seldom that I encounter, no, that I've seen, somebody who speak the way you do. That's why I'm so impressed. And you know what? It's like a dream that I'm just listening to you, and then I'm trying to absorb everything that you're saying. I mean, so effective for me. It's very
Thank
effective. I'm
you.
speaking of your impact on me, and I think that same impact would also be cascaded to other people. They will, I
Yeah,
mean, other people
hopefully.
who will be able to watch this will be truly amazed, especially Filipino, my fellow Filipinos, and all, because I know them. I know the pageant lovers in the Philippines. Whenever they are trying to look for a queen, they're
Yeah.
trying to really gauge, the English language of it's not supposed to be, but that's how they are, right? And I think on your if they will be be able to watch this and listen to you, my gosh, they will be amazed and they will love you.
Hopefully.
Okay. Viera, what do you think will be your uh, advantage in the grand finals for you to really, clinch the crown? Well, everybody, it's given. Everybody is beautiful. Everybody's smart. Everybody's good, and all
Yeah.
of that. But personally, it might not be. Things that the judges would be able to see in you, but personally, what do you think are your strengths?
Personally, well, like you said, all the girls are they're already amazing. Just the fact that they have represented their province is already such an amazing thing, right? And but I would say that throughout my life I have built what I've got, and I have been so focused on being as compassionate as possible. In
Mm.
fact, I have been a compassionate communication practitioner myself. And so that is a plus point. So when I speak, I am not only for the sake of being heard by others, I speak for the sake of actually communicating the message that I want to communicate. And with this skill of compassionate communication, I am able to understand other people's perspective in the eyes of professionals. And so this thing, I would say, is something that is a strength of mine. And if I would be crowned as Puteri Indonesia, I would use this to
Mm.
the maximum so that I can spread the message of the organization, of me, the message of my advocacy. I'm with her Indonesia. I've always tell people that you are enough, that you're worth it, that you are confident. And I want to say that
Mm.
to every woman in the
Mm.
whole world.
Wow, 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 wow. There, if normally in the Miss Universe they have, or even in the Miss International, there is always an opportunity for you to really speak, no, about your advocacy. If,
Yes.
for example, no, now at this very moment, this is the actual competition, and then you will be given 1 minute, to really,
Yeah.
relay your message to the world. Could you please
Yeah.
share it to us now? Your 1 minute starts now.
Okay. Well, I just want to say to everyone that right now, what we are dealing with is not only the pandemic of a virus, but actually an infodemic, which is the widespread of misinformation and disinformation that could undermine the authorities' efforts in trying to control the virus or in any other issues. And right now, we are relying on you to actually make the right decisions, for you to actually saw your information and think whether that is true or not, for you to fact check, for you to also look at other people and see them as your fellow human being. So we're all, at the end of the day, just one race, which is human race. And so when you are going to click on those buttons, think about the impact that it will make to the other person. And so think about the information that you receive. Think about the messages that you are going to spread out as well, because this world counts on you to actually be kind, be compassionate, and to be respectful.
Wow,
Thank you.
wow. Miss or Putri Indonesia Sumatera Barat, why should we crown you as the next Putri Indonesia?
I think you should count me as the next Putri Indonesia, because not only that I have everything that I've got to dedicate for the organization and also to this country, but it's also because I have been spreading the message of women empowerment with my advocacy. I'm with Her Indonesia. I want to tell women, not only in Indonesia, but also all over the world, the message of you are actually enough just being who you are. The message of you are never alone, and that there are other women out there who would love to support you. I want to tell women that I am with them, that I am with her. So that's why I should be the next opportunity.
Wow.
Thank you.
No, I've been, ever since I met you, Viera, I never heard you speaking Bahasa Indonesia. Now, can you now, uh, state your message to the whole Indonesian people? What's your message to them, to your fans, to your followers, to your friends who are supporting you, to your supporters? But can you do it in Bahasa Indonesia?
Yeah, of course. Terima kasih atas segala hal yang telah diberikan kepada saya, baik itu bentuknya saran, baik itu sebagai bentuk support. Terima kasih atas segalanya, karena saya bisa berada di sini, karena juga dari support dari orang-orang lain. Dan di sini niat saya adalah untuk membanggakan Sumatera Barat, maka dari itu saya akan berusaha semaksimal mungkin. Dan jika ingin memberikan saya saran dengan cara yang positif, silahkan memberikan saya saran, karena di sini saya juga masih berprogres untuk bisa semaksimal mungkin. Terima kasih.
It's still very smooth to listen to.
It is my mother language. So.
But you know what? Because I'm a teacher, right? And then I have also students who, even though they're Indonesians, they struggle, in speaking, especially in writing Bahasa Indonesia. No, I mean, because they've been using English, and it's so amazing to listen to you. Very strong
Thank
in
you.
English and very strong in your native tongue. Okay.
Thank you.
So what do we expect from Viera? Okay, from this time up to the grand finals.
You would expect me to do my best every single day. And if I appeared to not have given all I've got, is because I am a human myself. And so if, in here, my goals is to give the best that I can. And so if you are, have any messages for me and you want to give me any advices, go ahead. I am very open for them as well. And And yeah.
Ah, amazing. My gosh. No, I truly enjoyed. You know what? Without you knowing it, we're more than an hour, doing the interview.
Really, I
That
actually,
sometimes because if you enjoy, the one you're talking to, I mean, you never realize that, you are really beyond an hour, right? And that's
wow, yeah.
yeah, it's very good. And you know what, Viera, I would like to thank you personally for giving me the opportunity to really get to know you more. And at least my
Yeah,
subscribers
anytime.
will get to know you also. They somehow you are already popular, but then uh, they will get to know more you with this interview. And that's the reason why I'm so
Thank you
excited
so
to have it.
much.
And please be rest assured that our support on you is really 100%. No matter
Thank
what
you.
happens, no, we will be with you until the end. Okay,
Thank
so
you
please be
so
rest
much.
assured that our support is truly that strong, and that again, thank you so much, and
Yeah, thank you so
uh,
much.
I will be, uploading this later on, and I will share this to all my friends, not only in
Oh,
Indonesia but
wow.
in other countries, so that they would really get to know our Puteri Indonesia Sumatra Barat of Viera
Thank you.
Lovienta.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.